You guys, I still cannot believe this happened. If you remember my final 2025 cherry unboxing video, you will know that when I opened one of my packages, it was completely empty. Yes, stolen, and I was completely devastated. That night I did something I never do. I randomly checked Facebook Marketplace just hoping maybe that stolen item would pop up. What I ended up finding wasn't the missing item, it was something even better. A bag I've wanted forever, a true vintage grail, and within 30 miles of my house. Of course, I wasn't even considering buying another bag, but the price, the condition, honestly, it was faked. If that package hadn't been stolen, I never would have looked and I never would have found this. I'm about to show you a holy grail piece from the Louis Vuitton Murakami original 2005 cherry collection. And trust me, you are not gonna wanna miss this reveal and story time. All right, guys, I'm apologizing in advance because there is going to need to be an element of suspense here. You have to hear the story time first before I show you the bag. Of course, after I unboxed that empty package, I was devastated. After I had filmed everything, I just started thinking about how I wanted to, you know, solve the case myself. Completely naive and never going to happen, but I started checking eBay for cosmetic pouches that might have the receipt with it, hoping that maybe I could identify the pouch by the receipt, because like I said in my unboxing video, the person who took the package only took the item and the receipt, but not the box. I was very concerned that they were gonna try to return it or something, but then the thought I had was maybe they would use the receipt to try to resell it to prove that it's authentic. So I was like, what marketplaces can I check? I started on eBay and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check Facebook Marketplace. Again, very naive and stupid because the person who took the bag, I'm assuming would have been in like UPS sorting, and it could have been in the state that it was shipped from, not just the state that it arrived in. But I was like, you know, whatever. I'm a lucky girl. Maybe I'll be able to find the pouch with the receipt, somehow match it up, and again, track it down. I don't know, completely far-fetched and crazy, right? I have never bought anything on Facebook Marketplace in my life. I have sold things, my son's toys, some of my son's clothing items, mostly things related to my son, maybe a few like home decor items. I have never actually purchased anything on Facebook Marketplace myself. I have recently been looking for a bookshelf, and I check Facebook Marketplace every once in a while for bookshelves or mid-century modern furniture, but I have never looked for luxury items. I do know sometimes when I'm scrolling through, there's like ads for luxury items, and they usually link to Poshmark, for example, or other marketplaces. They're not actually local to my area. Anyways, I started searching Louis Vuitton Cherry. I started scrolling, and of course there were non-cherry items. There were just Louis Vuitton items, but several scrolls down, I see this bag. It is a vintage Louis Vuitton Murakami 2005 cherry bag. The listing has about 9 photos. They're not great angles. They're not professional. You can tell it is an individual seller who probably does not sell a lot of luxury handbags or items. Again, because it's just not professional or like great angles or anything like that of the details. The listing says, authentic Louis Vuitton monogram cerise blank mint condition. Now we'll get into the condition. It's definitely not mint, but it is in good condition. Anyways, I thought it was interesting that they did not call out that it was Murakami. They did not call it cherry. They called it by its official name, which is the cerise, which is French for cherry. I do know they knew what they had. However, I did think it was interesting that they did not use those popular search terms. For example, what are the chances that there is a iconic cherry bag local to me? It was in a city about 30 miles from me. I would say it's a typical 45-minute drive away from where I live. In the description, it said, comes with dust bag, guaranteed authentic purchase from LV at my local mall. Great condition, Venmo only, meet at police station, and serious inquiries only. And the person had 46 reviews, decent star rating. Any negative reviews were not related to like scamming or anything. It was just, you know, bitter people being like, they sold the item that I thought I could have, whatever. No like glaring, scammy reviews or anything like that. Checked out the profile, looked like a real person, lots of posts, etc. Again, I've never bought on Facebook, I've only sold. My husband does a lot of buying and selling for his business. He owns a construction company. They buy and sell a lot of equipment, tools, trucks, etc. So he's very familiar. I'm thinking in my head, what are the freaking chances that this bag just appeared, that I never would have looked on Facebook Marketplace had that item not been stolen and I'd not been trying to catch the person who stole it. It just, too many things aligned, right? I said, you cannot buy another bag. You are absolutely insane. You cannot buy another bag. The bag was listed for $2,500, which in my opinion is 30 to 50% below market value. It was a great deal, but I said, no, girl, stop. You cannot buy this bag. It's like insane. Please be a normal fucking person. You just bought 4 bags. You don't need a 5th bag. And honestly, when that item got stolen in my last unboxing, I was telling myself, you deserve that because you bought too much stuff. How the hell are you then going to go and buy another freaking bag, right? So I said, I'm going to sleep on it. It's too good to be true. Something is off here. This doesn't make sense. I'm going to sleep on it. And if it's still there tomorrow, I'll think about it, right? The next day I'm working and I remember about the bag. I had saved it. I go look for it and it's still there. Nobody had bought it. Nobody is on the hunt for cherry bags locally, I guess, the way I am. I am located in the Midwest. There are plenty of luxury lovers in my state, but nobody had found it yet. So I was like, okay, it's still there. Still thinking about it, right? I messaged my friend on Instagram that is another Louis Vuitton lover named Rachel. I told her that's funny. We're both named Rachel. I told her what was going on and I was like, what do you think I should do? We were going back and forth about it. I went downstairs and I told my husband what was going on. I said, you're not going to believe this. I found this very rare bag for an amazing price in so-and-so town. I really feel like it's meant to be, like it was meant for me to find it because of this situation, etc. And I told him, you know, that item got stolen. I will eventually be refunded for it. I have not been refunded yet. Don't worry, I will make a video about what happens with that, separate video. But I said, you know, I will just put that $1,000 towards this purchase. Wink, wink. So, you know, I already spent that money, roll it over. This all makes sense, right? And honestly, he was very much on board. He knew how upset I was about that bag. And so he buys a lot of vintage motorcycle parts and stuff like that too. We have this same, you know, vintage shopper mentality. So he does the same thing when he sees a motorcycle part for a really good price. Even though he doesn't have a motorcycle to use it on, he will stockpile these parts, and we both talk to each other about how bad it is because you just get sucked in. It's like the thrill of the hunt. You find something for a good price, you potentially buy something you don't need. This is of course something that I need, but he understands that mentality is all I'm trying to say, and he was encouraging me and helping me make the deal. So I'm talking to him, I'm talking to my friend Rachel, and I was like, what do you think I should do? It's like, it doesn't hurt to just message them, right? So the first thing I always ask, and I'm pulling up my messages here, is I'm interested in the bag. Does the bag have any odors? Example, smoke, perfume, or pet. Odors is always my biggest concern. I can see majority of what I need to see in the photos, but I want to know if it has any smells. And she said, no smoke-free home, pet-free home, no perfume. It's been worn less than 5 times and kept in the dust bag. Then I said, okay, she has it priced at $2,500. I'm going to offer her $2,000 and see if she takes it. And we'll talk more about the price after I open it because it'll make more sense. I said, would you take $2,000? I can do Venmo if that's your preference. I can also do cash. She said she could do 2,200. So it's funny because I almost offered 2,200. I asked my husband and Rachel, is it offensive if I offer 2,000? Because I don't want to offend anyone. 2,000 is the price that I want to pay, but I'm comfortable with 2,200 is what I had told my husband. And he said, do the 2,000 because she'll probably come back in the middle. Usually when he prices on marketplaces, he prices it higher knowing that people are going to come in and lowball him. Not saying that she was doing that, but it was worth a shot, right? So she said she could do 2,200. She prefers Venmo if we move forward. And she said she wants to meet at the police station due to the value of the bag. And I'm thinking great because I'm terrified. I have never met somebody to purchase something like this, especially this high value. Police station sounds great to me, right? We're just two scared women trying to make a little Louis Vuitton transaction here, right? So I said, okay, perfect. That works for me. I said, I can come get it tonight. Again, this was the work day. I said sometime after 4 p.m. She said, that's great. She wanted to wait for after her husband to get off work. I was assuming for him to go with her because she was nervous. My husband could not come with me. Again, this was like a 45-minute drive away, but we were meeting at the police station. I was comfortable. I told him I would call him before and after, etc. And she asked me if I would like the receipt with the bag. And I said, I would love the receipt. Like, I'm a collector. I love to collect those kind of things. I love paper details, especially when they have history as a part of them, like the price. So I said, if you're comfortable, I would love the receipt. If you want to black out any information or anything like that, that's fine with me. And then she sent me the address of a police station. I said that works. I will tell you a little bit more after I reveal the bag to you because I want to talk about the listing, the photos, what it looks like compared to the listing. We met at the police station. She was with her husband. I nearly hit a person pulling into the police station. I can't tell you how much my heart was pounding. I was shaking. I felt comfortable. I was just like, I can't believe I'm about to get this bag, right? And I like was not, I'm a bad driver to begin with. I swear, like too much, right? So we meet. She has the original dust bag. She pulls out this beautiful bag in great condition. It is the original Cherry Speedy size 25 from the Louis Vuitton Takashi Murakami 2005 Cherry collection. It has the original booklet, the original tag, the original textile tag, the original receipt. It was her mom's bag. Her mom passed it down to her. She purchased it from our local mall in 2005. I'm not going to show it, but it literally has the credit card swipe on it with her signature. The bag cost $995 in 2005. She paid $1,054.70. What an iconic bag. Honestly, I was so flustered when I went to get it that I did not ask her, but I was like, does your mama have any other iconic bags that I need to know about? Because hello, icon. This was a hard bag to get in 2005. So check it out. This bag has no smells. There's a little bit of dust on the corners of the interior. I'm definitely going to be doing like a cleaning. It's got a beautiful honey patina, quite even. The biggest, there's the made in Paris, or there's the Louis Vuitton Paris stamp. The biggest condition issue is there are some light water stains on the leather chaps. Here is the zipper. The zipper works great. There's the zipper pull. Inside, you've got the pocket. Also, oh my God, the pocket looks brand new, never used. Underneath the pocket, you've got the date code stamp over here that says the first month of 2005. All the hardware looks great. Oh my God. I mean, I just cannot believe that I found this bag. So here's the lock. She did not have the key, but the key is easy to track down. The number is 304. So I'll buy one of those on eBay to make sure that I can unlock it. The condition of the cherries, the screen print of the cherries on this bag is incredible. They are in such good condition. There is a very little fading or rubbing, some a little bit along the edge there. But I mean, just look at the condition of this bag. A little bit of corner wear there. It is in like great vintage condition. The screen print was most important to me here because I can clean the leather up a little bit and I can always pay Louis Vuitton to replace the leather. So the most important thing to me when evaluating this bag was smells and the condition of the screen print. And I think I really lucked out here with this bag. It also, of course, came with the original limited edition red dust bag. This is a key feature of the bag. I can't even get over the fact that I found this bag on Facebook Marketplace locally. It truly feels meant to be. I never would have looked for this bag had that item not been stolen. I felt like I couldn't pass it up, even though I do not need to be buying another bag. So current market value on these is heavily inflated because of the re-release. People are trying to sell these for $4,500, $5,000. I think they're worth maybe $3,500 in good condition. I do think the market will settle back down to that $2,500, $3,000 range, if not lower. She had this listed for $2,500. I offered her $2,000. We settled at $2,200, and I think that is completely fair on both sides. I think I got a deal, but again, I do think the resale market will settle down eventually, and I do buy for long-term too. Again, like if there was ever an emergency and I needed to liquidate, could I get my money back out of the $2,200 I spent on this bag? And I do think that I could at least get my money back. I feel comfortable with that price. I'm very interested to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments, if you think that was a good deal or not. I definitely had this FOMO about this purchase that I was like, in my head, I want to believe that the price of these bags is going to come back down, but what if they don't? That is why I was like, if you don't jump on this price, you may not find as good of a deal on this bag in decent condition in the future. The price might just be elevated at this point because so many people do want to track down the vintage. She did know the value of this bag. She did look it up on eBay. She said, we kind of like, I don't know necessarily how much she knows about Murakami or the reedition collections, but I mentioned to her how long I've been looking for this bag, how significantly the prices were going up. And she was like, yeah, I know. I saw people trying to sell it for $5,000. So I did not feel like I was taking advantage of her or anything like that. Like I said, I do feel that it was fair. I think the prices will come back down to around this range. And had she sold it through a consignment store like the 𝒞𝓃𝓈 or Fashion File, I do think she would have gotten a similar price, if not less. And we both benefit from the in-person nature of the transaction, being that it was Facebook Marketplace, local, etc. I saved on tax, didn't have to worry about shipping because I got to go see it in person, so I didn't have to worry about somebody stealing the bag, etc. There's just so many benefits to meeting in person, even though I was sketched out. I was nervous. I know she was too. I don't know. It was very interesting learning experience. And like I said, I've never searched for luxury on Facebook Marketplace. I might start now, having learned this interesting lesson. So I do think that this bag is in great condition. Is it in mint condition? No. I'm going to put up on the screen the photos of the bag so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The angles of the photos weren't great. The interior photo was blurry. She definitely did not take a picture of the water spots on these chaps here. So that was sort of an unknown condition thing when I went and saw it in person. She did take a picture of the receipt, which I thought again was really cool, and I really appreciated her including that. I was questioning the water spots when I went and picked it up. I didn't say anything. I didn't think it warranted trying to get her down on price in person. I'm not really a negotiator like that either. We had already agreed on a price. The water spots are really light. I am going to attempt to clean this bag. I'm going to clean the interior. Again, the dust buildup in the corners. I'm going to try to do a deep clean on the interior, and I'm going to do my best to even out the water spots on the vachetta. Now, it is nearly impossible to get water spots out of vachetta. I'm going to try a couple different methods, and I will film them so that you guys can see sort of how I do it and what the before and after looks like. But like I said, worst case, I will pay to get the vachetta replaced. However, I really like a honey patina on a bag. So stay tuned for some cleaning videos and how I try to even out some of these water spots. I'm curious what you guys think about the condition of this beautiful bag. Even like the underside, it's really, I crinkled it to put it in the dust bag. The dust bag is very small also, but I know they like fold up the Speedies. But just look at the condition of the print. It looks so good. There is a little bit of like a different level of excitement I noticed when I get a vintage grail piece versus when I'm opening new stuff. I'm gonna do like a separate comparison video of the two bags because I don't want to make this video too long. But I just want to say that like the level of happiness I felt when I got this bag, it just, I don't know, it makes me so happy. And it was so different because I just immediately wanted to use this bag. Like the next day for work, I'm wearing this like basic vintage t-shirt from Abercrombie, some like baggy barrel jeans from the Gap, and I immediately wanted to wear this bag, and I had like no concerns about using it because it was pre-loved. And I've mentioned this before, I love buying pre-loved bags because it just like, I just feel differently about using those bags. Whereas I do feel a sense of babying my other new bags, especially like new fresh vachetta, that always gets me worried. I love that I just don't even think about it with a pre-loved bag because that bag has already had a life, and I just don't feel as bad about using it, breaking it in, getting another water stain on it because it's already been used. So I don't know. There is something that I truly love about pre-loved and vintage. And if you are the kind of person that doesn't like those, I highly encourage you to try it at some point. Maybe you buy a better conditioned bag than something that's been like very much used. But I don't know, just takes the stress out of using a brand new bag. And I know that there shouldn't be stress, but if you are a perfectionist and a little bit of an OCD person like me, no matter how hard I try, I am going to baby new bags, and I just do not do that with these bags. So I love that about buying vintage and pre-loved. Oh my God. I love this bag. I'll try to include a video of me trying this bag on too. I cannot believe that I finally have this bag in my collection. I just feel like it was fate. The handbag gods blessed me. I do not deserve it. I feel very undeserving of, just because I've been buying a lot lately. I definitely feel guilty about it because it's a lot of overconsumption, and I totally get that. This is just a grail piece. I could not pass it up. I had to. And I don't know. I feel like my vintage cherry collection is very complete now. I would love to add the vintage cherry 𝒞𝒽𝒶𝓅𝓉𝓈, and the only other piece I really want is the mini pochette that comes with the bucket bag. I do not want the bucket bag. I'm not a big fan of that bag, but I want the mini pochette. And then I would take any of the exotic special bags from this collection with the lizard and stuff. And like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on the vintage collection, so stay tuned for that. And then I'll probably do like a recap at some point of all the vintage Murakami pieces that I'm still tracking down. With all of these vintage bags, I never feel like I need this right now. I always feel like you will eventually be able to get that bag and add that bag to your collection. The question is just what price. The only thing that really made me act fast and gave me that little bit of FOMO on this purchase was that price. But my usual mindset is you will be able to get that bag eventually, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 5 years from now. I was just a little worried about the price of these staying high or continuing to increase now that the re-edition collection has come out. So we'll take a look at this video 5 years from now, see how the price settles. It'll be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about this crazy twist of fate that I was finally able to pick up a grail Murakami piece that has been on my wish list for so long. This is why you shouldn't be friends with me, because if you want me to tell you a story, I can tell you a story about why you need that item or why that item is meant to be. I can do that in a positive and a negative way for sure, because I can also tell myself a negative story like your package was stolen because you deserved it, blah, blah, blah. But I can also tell a great story in a positive way, like someone put this bag in front of you for a reason. It was meant to be. You should own this bag. You should have this bag. So it is very dangerous being friends with me, because if you want me to encourage you, I will. So fair warning there. But I really do believe that this bag was meant for me. I think it is so cool that this has the original receipt from my local mall purchase in 2005 with the original price. I love that. That's part of the collecting that I love, is those original documents. Ugh. And you guys know that I have the sac plat, I have the pochette accessoire. Now I finally have the single cherry print. Checking that off my list for my vintage collection. I just feel super content and complete now with my cherry collection, vintage and current. Like, I just feel this immense sense of joy that I was able to pick this bag up. This was like the one holdout piece, and I just can't believe that I was able to find it locally. How crazy is that? Do you guys shop on Facebook Marketplace a lot? Have you ever found any really good deals on Facebook Marketplace? Let me know if you've picked up any grails. I'm super curious how like lucrative Facebook Marketplace is, because again, I've never bought a luxury item on there before. Stay tuned for an upcoming video. I will do a side-by-side comparison of the vintage 25 next to the new re-edition size 20, so you can get an up close and personal look at both of those bags. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more great videos about Louis Vuitton, fashion, handbags, all of these fun things that I collect. I'm sure this video was just as much of a surprise for you guys as it was for me, because this was not planned. But if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining me and watching this video today. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.